Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please hit the subscribe this video. Often, the individuals we perceive as the most resilient, those who fill our mornings with joy, are the very ones shouldering the greatest struggles. For years, Kelly Ripa has been that radiant, cheerful face on America's television screens. However, away from the spotlight and the cameras, she was confronting a battle that humor alone could not conquer. And when she ultimately shared her truth, her cancer diagnosis, it wasn't only her life that was altered. It was also her husband's. Mark Consuelos, the man who has been her partner in building a family and a career, was left so profoundly shaken, so utterly broken in that moment that his unguarded reaction stunned millions. But what made this moment resonate so powerfully? What was it about Kelly's announcement that shattered the facade of on-screen perfection, forcing us to confront the raw emotions of love, fear, and our own mortality? Stay with me, because the narrative that follows is not just heartbreaking. It's also deeply inspiring in ways you might not foresee. For a long time, Kelly and Mark were more than just famous figures. To their audience, they felt like friends. Kelly's quick humor, Mark's charisma, and their light-hearted exchanges created an image of a flawless marriage. The public saw the smiles, the vacations, and the milestone celebrations. What remained hidden were the quiet nights, the appointments with doctors, and the hushed anxieties that occurred off-screen. Life has a way of humbling even the most celebrated personalities. And in this case, the gulf between their public happiness and private anguish was immense. Still nobody, not even Mark himself, was ready for the moment Kelly decided to reveal her struggle to the world. It started as just another episode. Kelly was seated under the brilliant studio lights with her husband next to her. The atmosphere was typically cheerful, yet observant viewers detected something different about Kelly that morning. Her smile, while visible, seemed to carry a significant weight. Then the moment arrived. Placing her hand on Mark's arm, her voice grew quiet. She gazed at the camera, then to her husband, and uttered the words that seemed to freeze time. "I've been diagnosed with cancer." A collective gasp came from the audience. Mark was motionless. For a few brief seconds, there was only silence, the immense gravity of her statement filling the room. While the news itself was staggering, it was Mark's reaction, so visceral and human that completely demolished the illusion of television perfection. Mark, who was always so composed and unflappable, was utterly unprepared. His expression fell. Tears welled up in his eyes, and despite his efforts to remain strong, the emotion overwhelmed him. He murmured, "I can't believe you said that. I wasn't prepared to hear it this way." For the millions viewing from their homes, the moment was gut-wrenching. Here was a man who had been a pillar of strength for decades, now completely overcome by love and fear on a global stage. In that instant, Mark was not an actor or a television host. He was simply a husband, terrified of the thought of losing his wife. So what exactly about this scene made it so universally and painfully relatable, causing fans to discuss it for days on end? We have all experienced it. That single phone call, that one test result, that moment when the future you planned for suddenly crumbles. For countless viewers, Kelly's announcement mirrored their own personal experiences. Grandparents, parents, and lifelong couples at home quietly thought to themselves, "That could be us." Because cancer is more than a word. It is a thief. It steals your certainty. It steals your peace. And sometimes it steals your time. Mark's emotional display was not a sign of weakness. It was honesty. It gave permission to millions of men and women to feel what they often try to hide, the fear of losing the person you love most. But what did Kelly say next that turned this devastating admission into a narrative of hope? Kelly, with tears in her eyes, but with unmistakable courage in her voice, shifted the focus from fear to the fight ahead. She informed everyone that the cancer was detected early, that treatment had begun, and that her priority was not just to survive, but to truly live. Her statement was more than a diagnosis. It was a declaration. She turned to Mark, held his hand tightly, and said, "We will get through this together." And in that instant, her resolve became his. But what does it signify when a couple like Kelly and Mark, whose romance has been in the public eye for so long, must face their biggest